And there we are, underway for another cosmic watch. If you haven't been with us before, my name is Franklin. I'm the astrologer. And for the next hour, we will be joined by subscribers in our chat room here. Do readings for those people. And we'll also be looking at the skies of today on this Taurus spring afternoon. Been a beautiful day. It's a rebirth time of year. Things are beginning to grow now, and this is what Taurus is all about. Taurus is well, we're moving from Aries to Taurus right now, and we're in the second week of Taurus, where Aries is about talking a good game, right? Aries is always talking about things. Taurus talks and listens to other people and their needs. This is why Taurus is so known as the being ruled by Venus, right? The planet of love and pleasure, enjoyment. And Taurus is all about enjoying the five physical senses and finding joy. Taurus. And the moon sign tonight is in Leo. And Leo is all about learning that lesson of being able to tell others what you think without them hearing it as criticism, right? Having a little tact in what you do, but also even more important for Leo is being able to accept criticism. And I know for Leo people, this is just the hardest thing in the world, because they feel like it's a personal attack on them anytime that someone says they're not doing something perfectly. They're not doing it the very best. So we've got Taurus people. If you were born today, see, if you have if you know a child that's born today, they are Taurus with their moon in Leo. And this date, April 28th of 2023, you add all that up together. You add the day, the month, fourth month, and the year 2023, and altogether that adds up to 21. So the person who was born today has a 2 plus 1 equals 3 personality that they're going to have all through life. Now, 2, of course, is working with other people. Now, Taurus is the second house. It's all about working with others and cooperating and finding the group idea that helps everyone. And this is why Taurus is about enduring. Taurus, the gift that is given to Taurus people is their patience. So enduring, lasting, this is the Taurus trait above all others. And this earth sign is very rooted in the physical, the material world. This is why Taurus is always seemingly amassing things. And joining us in the chat room is Heather, saying good evening. Heather, what is your date of birth, dear? We'll have a quick look at you during this retrograde that's still going on. And Heather says 3/21/86. Okay, so just had your birthday not long ago. Okay, here's Mayu saying hello. Heather, 3 plus 3 is 6. 12, 20. You're a 20. You're exactly the same number that I am. 2 plus 0 equals 2. You are a 2 person. And the the biggest thing that people get on us about, we of the 2s, is that we always overdo in the beginning. Think about every relationship you've ever had. You overdo in the beginning, and then very often you end up getting mad later on because you're doing all the work. But you don't leave the relationship. No, you just withdraw your emotions, right, Heather? And you wait for someone to ask, what's wrong? This is the passive aggressive way of 2s. It really is. Heather says that sounds about right. Oh boy, it's if I draw a card on you for right now, Heather, what we're looking at right now is you moving up to a new level of thought. See, the swords are all about thought. The king is the top level, the top that you can reach. So, and it's also about family. And any of the royalty, it's always about someone within your family. So, what's going on right now is that you're changing the way you think about someone else. You're seeing them grow up and change, and you're forgiving them for their past. You're not going to hold a grudge against someone for what they did in the past, and that's a beautiful thing. We all have to release everything that comes to us, no matter how good or bad things are. In the end, you have to let them go. You can't cling to the past. You can't live in the past because it doesn't exist anymore. And Heather says, yes, we do. Heather and Mayu are in our chat room right now. And this is for the subscribers of the channel here. And they're able to talk among themselves sometimes. And more, they certainly help me to read myself, which is the hardest thing that any psychic can do. And a lot of the work that I do is with other psychics who get overloaded with the downloads they accept from other people, and most of the people in the Mayu says, well, most of the people in the chat room are psychically inclined and have intuition and have had, many of them are psychics themselves. Mayu says his birthday is 9/11. Boy, now there's an ominous birthday, right? 9, 10, 11, 11, and 11, 22. 224, Mayu. Okay, a very, very hard to attain number. You're not going to find many people like you. One of my granddaughters is a 224, and the other is a 404. They're both 4s, but very different people. My 4 is about taking things one step at a time, doing a series of small steps in the right direction instead of trying to take it all in one giant leap and ending up having to go back and start over again. Sounds lonely. It seems to create competition between the two. If both are trying to breathe the same air, take up the same space, be the same personality. So it's a very interesting thing to do, to take relationship numbers, take your birth relationship numbers, and give you what you need to be working on, what you need to look for, where the trouble will come up. If you are say adding up what you want, and if you try and especially as a 3, and you can really relate to this if you're born today. You're a 2-1-3. The 3 is about being able to release um, other people, situations, anything that comes into your life. You take it, you use it, you share it, and you release it after you bless it. Right? That's all that you can do. When you try to hold on to things for too long, it can really back up on you and cause problems because you're not moving along to the next logical step. And this is what 4s are all about, Mayu, is you have to take each and every step in order. If you try to take a step out of order, you're going to end up going back to the beginning of the line. Oh, Mayu says, dating another Virgo. Virgos are compatible together. Oh, Virgos as the 6th house. You're going to add up to 12, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So it figures that today, on this 3 day, we're questioning just that sort of thing. And the problem with Virgo is they take care of everybody else before they take care of themselves. So a pair of Virgos will compete to try and be the one who takes care of the other one. And that's not a bad thing, is it? I mean, that's what you want a relationship to be, is taking care of each other. And Maya says he's kind of chaotic. Well, as a Virgo, yes, you're the earth sign. You get to, the earth is yours. The water signs or leave scorched earth behind them like the fire signs tend to do in relationships. Earth signs endure. Earth signs will be here tomorrow. Earth signs are going to be the same personship. The relationship numbers are very telling because it takes the two different personalities and shows how they can mix, can react to each other. And this is why it's great to know that do people belong in your life in this lifetime, is whether or not you can forgive them. Everybody, all of the billions of souls on this planet screw things up, do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, think the wrong thing, and even to the point of believing that they're doing the right thing. And these are the people who have not yet learned their lesson. And these are the people that you just have to leave alone. If you find that someone has done something in your reality that you cannot forgive them for, that person you need to stay away from. And they're not meant to be in your life. So a successful relationship. And you're both going to cross paths at a time when both of you are available. And it's a possibility. Think about how so much of that is other people telling you that you don't fit together, right? Only you know if you can forgive the people who are in your life. And there are the reason that you have this choice to make is because you have guiding spirits inside of you. And they are trying to help you make decisions. They're trying to get you to get back together with the people that you travel through time with. Right? My wife and I, in a previous lifetime, in my karma building life, brother and sister. And we were abandoned children taken in by a traveling gypsy camp. The leader of the gypsy camp is one of my granddaughters today. My son, whom I'm having so much trouble with, my son was a member of the gypsy camp. He's the one who believes in stealing the medicine that was needed to save my wife, my sister, when she got sick. And this is how the conflict came to be between the two of us. And you can see it today. So there's 4 people who travel together in different lifetimes, all reincarnated into the same part of the world. Well, that doesn't have to happen. My wife was born on the island of Guam, on the other side of the world from where I was born. And the amount of connections that had to happen to let her live on one side of the river and me live on the other side of the river it's incredible, the things that had to come together. But as we have found 50 years later, we were meant to be together. Always. I until I found her, I was always attracted to women who looked like her. I didn't know why, but it was because my guides knew what was supposed to happen. SJ saying, hi, nice to see you. Can pull a card for me. Yes, I can, SJ. Let's just see what is going on with you in this middle of the retrograde week here. Wow, great family, new beginning. This is one. The old cycle comes to an end. The new cycle begins. Everybody's happy across the generations. This is better. The next step over happiness is being content with whatever you have. That's better than just being happy with whatever you got that day, right? SJ, this is the contentment that's coming to you. You're working this right now, and it's going to get better and better here for the next week or so. And so keep doing what you're doing, sticking with the people that you're with, and just watch it get better. It's just going to really magnify and multiply upon itself. You're attracting like-minded people to you, people that think the same as you, and you're bringing those into your life. And thank you for coming by tonight. You're bringing that with you. you're uplifting the lifting all boats on the high tide there. So this is a Leo moon out there. So the most sensitive area in your body right now is your heart, your aorta, and your blood pressure. And because it's the wrong time of the month, you don't need to be having surgery, elective surgery on anything. But because in the 2 weeks between the full moon and the new moon, your body recovers much better than in these other 2 weeks out here on the outside of it. And even when it is time to have work on things, you look at the moon sign, and you don't want to have surgery on the part of the body that is connected to the moon sign, and we have Leo as the moon sign tonight, and that's about your heart and your blood pressure and moving that blood around. So that is overly sensitive right now when it's up. So if you are going to have surgery, you would do it in a time when the moon sign was not in Leo. If you're going to have heart surgery, and there's the 12 different signs as they move through the moon sign. Those 12 different signs are all connected to different parts of the body. Aries is the head. Pisces are the feet. First house, 12th house. Everything in between has a connection to one of the houses. So it's a very known fact that your body heals much better at night, and this is why the moon sign is so important to healing. So between the days of the full moon until the new moon, those are the days when your body will recover much faster, much easier, and that's why you try and have your surgeries either. It's the difference between the waxing and the waning of the moon, if you know that much about the moon. So when I was I've had some people ask about the picture up here of my dog, who's a puka, and the story behind the dog is he showed up 12 years ago. He sort of adopted us. He was a rescue dog who came down and found us. And the day before he came, I did a reading to see if he was going to work out and what he was going to be like. And that's when I drew the card here with the white dog, the big white dog, coming in and putting his head in my lap, which is just what he did. Just found his way through, and he's been a part of the family now for 12 years. And animals are blessed. They are. Here's Heather saying, will I get the life skills job? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, will I get the life skills job? Says Heather. Do you get this job? Yes, there you are, working away, being able to put money away on the side here. Yes. So yeah, Heather, that's a good fit for you right there. Cody saying, hey, Franklin, how have you been? I've been delayed and held up all week long. I heard people saying today exactly what they were saying a week ago, and that lets you know that you're in a slowdown period. Heather says, awesome. Heather, believing in yourself is most of it. When you believe in yourself, you present that aura to other people, and when you enter a room, they can feel that you're a positive influence, and that's what they're looking for. Yeah. So I have been trying so hard for the past several months to take care of some personal problem that has been going on right here in my own house. And tomorrow is the final day. The court decided 10 more days, and that's it. So the 10th day is tomorrow. And finally, this thing gets resolved. And it's just been a test, a trial. And the whole point of this which is good. The whole point of this was to make my wife mad enough to get up out of the bed and say, I'm not gonna let this happen. My wife has been suffering from cancer for the last 10 years, several different bouts and chemotherapy, and just had her down to under 100 pounds. Was really fading away. This incident that's been going on in our home got her so mad that she's gained 30 pounds. She's had the operation to replace her jaw. She's just up and doing things. So figuring out the things that come into our life, that's reading the signs and omens. Sometimes we think the worst things in the world, but they turn out to have been for the best, to have a purpose, Cody says, I've got 8 more days to my birthday. So, okay, so Cody is going to be in this Taurus. So Taurus, the gift of patience. That's what Taurus has been given, and to take the time to smell the flowers. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about using those 5 senses that you have to experience the pleasure of this world. The reason we have these bodies, the reason we're here, is to experience things, to feel things. Why do you think your spirit guides inhabit your body? To feel your emotions. In the spirit world, what's the one thing you would miss? Is the feel, the touch, right? That's why your guides are here. They're in your heart. They're in your head. They're talking to you all the time. They talk to me. And if they'll talk to me, you're a better person than that, right? Cody says, yeah, exactly. To express the moment. Yes. SJ says, many blessings to you and your wife. Oh, the people that I talk to all the time have been the greatest blessing of all, SJ. It is so true that good karma can be sent along, and it's remarkable the power that humans have in their brain and in their heart, how they can be down and out and just have their epiphany, decide, well, that's enough of that. I'm going to get up and do this, and I'm going to do it now. That is truly how you heal yourself, is by knowing that you're loved, by not worrying about tomorrow. And this is what we all do for each other. That's why we try to make each other better. And this is the big thing about that Leo moon that's out there right now, being able to accept criticism and being able the relationships at work, the relationships that endure, are where each member feels safe in giving honest feedback. If you are receiving honest feedback, you have a wonderful relationship. Cody says, what's my reading for today? Well, let's see if we can sum it up for you, Cody. If on this, it's a sticky one. It's, inner strength. This is you having the opportunity to pull the thorn out of the lion's paw Make yourself a lifelong friend. You're going to have the opportunity to show someone the path. Let them learn from your experience. God, that's what it is. Something that you've done, something that you've already done was seen and is greatly appreciated. And this, yeah, my guides are trying to get it out, boy. This is instant karma. This is, you scratch my back and I'm going to scratch yours right now. This is instant karma. And this is one of the reasons that karmas can get so confused. Not only are you trying to deal with the karma that you bring into this life, but you also create instant karma all during this lifetime that you're going to have to deal with. I mean, there's cause and effect. This is what you come to see the more experience you have in life. And this is why it's so wonderful to have satellite communications where we can learn from 8 billion people on the planet. If we had 8 billion TV sets, I guess we could learn from all of them at the same time. But it's being able to learn from each other. Why do you think we're here? What other reason could there possibly be? We are helping each other to not have to personally experience all sides of all problems. I mean, this is why the Buddha had over 300 different lives. And there's so much to be learned. There's so much that you can learn from other people. This is what we have always supposedly learned from our tarot cards. This is the story that's told on the tarot cards. It is the story of forgiveness, of people being able to enjoy their differences, to exalt their differences rather than everyone trying to be the same, everyone trying to play a part, because so much of that is just trying to please other people. And trying to please others when public opinion changes so often, it's almost impossible. You can't base your life on trying to make other people happy. You have to. Well, you don't have to, but it's wonderful when you can find your own place and feel like you really fit in. Cody says, I've got my readings this morning on my email. Pulled out the moon, the star, and the hangman card. Well, the moon is about your dreams. The star is about your hopes, what you wish for. The wish card is the star. And the hangman is about turning yourself around. Completely. Doing a 180 and looking at things from a different point of view. And knowing that nobody shows you all their cards. They're always hedging their bets. And what you learn from those other people is how to deal with your spirit guides. Do you think your spirit guides would actually not tell you the whole truth in order to get you to do what they want you to do? Well, of course they would. And And here's something to remember. Not only did angels come before humans, fallen angels came before humans. They were here when we got here. Yes, yes. This is the great story from the books of Enoch. And if you've never seen a Bible old enough to have the books of Enoch in them, and of course there were no Bibles before the Roman emperor decided to remove the books of Enoch, because they described Enoch as being the son of a fallen angel. And the Roman emperor thought that he was the only living God on earth. So they take Enoch completely out of the Bible. The books of Enoch, which the wise men read to know where Jesus was going to be born. The books of Enoch that predicted the birth of Jesus and showed where and when. These were completely removed in the year 100 at the council, where they were trying to please the Roman emperor, so he would take on Christianity as the faith. And boy, that turned into to a never-ending war. It seems the religions have been fighting each other ever since. What he says, and then I'll be starting reading the card meanings on Google. Research on the card meanings. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The what I pulled for you there, Cody, is really the culmination of that. It is. You're headed for a life altering change in the way that you see things. That's what comes up when you get the opportunity to help someone else. And what's probably going to happen is you're going to be trying to explain things to someone else. And your guides always use that opportunity to come to you through your own voice. So listen to yourself when you're giving advice to other people. Same thing I do all the time. There's messages for me that come through, and this is the remarkable thing about the tarot cards. It's how they encompass both sides of the question, and very rarely tell you what to do, but what decision you're going to have to make, so you can get ready to make that decision. So in that way, you truly do look into the future and try to see what is coming to you, and the natural thing that we have moved into right now, with going from Aries, the first house, into Taurus, the second house, is that very often the Aries people talk a blue streak and never give the person they're talking to the opportunity to tell them anything. And this is the difference between Aries and Taurus. In Taurus, we have someone who communicates, but also takes the time to listen to other people, and to be very much like the difference between praying and meditating. In praying, you're asking, you're talking, I want this, I want send me that, and in meditation, you're silent listening for the answers. And that's really the difference between the first and second houses. And right now, with this, with our sun sign in Taurus, we're all experiencing this sort of feel for being able to communicate with our spirit guides. That's Taurus is connected to the earth so much so that the spirit guides really, really like to be with Taurus people. Taurus people have a wealth of guides, and it is because they have such a way of experiencing the physical pleasures of the life, of being able to feel and touch and smell and see and taste and put all that together and use it as a single sort of thing. Cody says, there's times I watched videos about the repeat of something going to happen. Watching this, and I see that as a sign. Very much so. When you hear those same words repeated, even if it's not the same person, that's what catches you. And that's there's so much information coming to us these days that we have to keep our antennas open all the time. You're constantly, it's like having the TV on in the background. Some people can't live. Some people can't sleep without the TV on, and I mean it's truly an addictive thing, just as it was meant to be, as it was envisioned from the very beginning. People won't be able to put this down. The people who made movies really thought that television was going to be their ruination, that nobody would ever go to the movies again because they could sit in their own home and watch the shows that they wanted to see. And it was 10 years at least before television was ever allowed to show a movie, right? Except for the old like silent movies and the things that were in general consumption. Things like the Three Stooges shorts, which is what they all put on. But the great teaching tool that is television is just waiting to really be used, and I think that it's the invention of the two-way television. See, that is really changing everything. I mean, kids, no, don't pay attention to one teacher droning on a set up in front of 30 or 40 children. They're doing something else. But if you can engage them one-on-one, that and you can with the technology that we have here. Cody says, like, good example. I've watched the ones before the readers would say, someone will apologize to me. If that's what you want. See, one of those was the wish card. If that's what you're wishing for, then yes. The moon card is about expressing your hidden feelings, about being able to finally say something to someone that you've been waiting to say, and having them take it the right way. And see, the moon card is about talking and listening and getting the reaction from the other person. Cody says, write movies Didn't play on television until the early 60s. And it was a big event. That's right. The Sunday night movie, I think is what they called it. And it was, at the time, it was very strange to see a movie cut up with commercials in it. I had never seen such a thing. In all the movies I'd ever seen, they play the commercials before the thing, right? So the only movies that had been on were on The Wonderful World of Disney, which was for a long time the only color presentation that was, and this truly is why they brought the Hollywood movies on, to sell color TVs. And about 1960 is when they decide to let's make them throw all these black and white TVs away. Let everybody buy a new $500 color television set. And the way they did it was by putting on color shows. Bonanza came on for the express purpose of showing those landscapes of the Ponderosa, all of the colors, and the stories were, of course, just secondary. They were just they were the best dressed cowboys in the West, just kind of walking through scenes. But the Wonderful World of Disney is what almost forced everybody else to go to color. And in the first couple of years, it was terrible because they were trying to spit out color shows all of a sudden, and the very first thing that came on was the Flintstones, right? A color cartoon in prime time. And then the Jetsons, and cartoons were real big in the very beginning of television. the color TV was something that they priced out of the range of most people. And that's why it took it 10 years to really, and even at the time when digital TV came in, there were still black and white sets being sold, little portable black and white sets, of course. But black and white was still a thing because the color was so bad. The original color before, and then this is why digital TV came along. This is why they have the HD and replaced every television set in the world. Back in 1960, that was their goal, was to get everybody to buy a new TV, a color television. So, and it didn't work out. But the digital rebuild actually starts with an urban legend that when the television stations change over to digital, you're not going to be able to receive their signal on your old set. And that was a lie. You got a much clearer, much better picture on your old TV set that they were advising you to throw away because it's never going to be any good to you again. Well, the fact that HD TVs came in and everybody in the world ditched their old TV set. Every production company in the world had to completely change the way that they delivered their product. And in the music industry, what digital did was make everybody's bedroom a recording studio. And you could get just as complicated as you wanted to. Cody says, in 1954, Walt Disney came out with Disneyland. And in 56, The Wizard of Oz first played on the Ford Star. Oh, man. And you know what I saw the other day? was a movie made in 1931 before the television code changed everything. And it was not only very sexy, very, very risque, very adult, but also they were smoking marijuana cigarettes, just passing them around in 1931. And to see then a movie later in the 30s where the code suddenly tells you everything that you're supposed to do. It was a time when lawmakers really overstepped their bounds, and it was because movies were so popular. Movies were creating public opinion, right? Movies were. It was no longer art following the real world. It was the real world following art, and this is when television and the movies felt their responsibility. And what they felt was the government breathing down their necks, telling them, we're going to take your license away from you if you don't put on more public service programming, if you don't show married couples sleeping in single beds. Lucy and Ricky actually had a child, right? Sleeping in single beds. This was the fallacy of the 1950s. Everyone was lying. And when in the 1960s, when people were found out about those lies, this is when the revolution came about. The 1960s were the biggest change that this country's ever gone through, and it was really pushed by an authoritarian government trying to crack down on those protesters and those dirty hippies. And it's exactly what's going on with our Russian neighbors right now. And their youth is what's going to change the world. They're being forced into it, and in a life and death situation, people will look out for their own interest, and in this case, that's looking out for the interests of the other people in the world, not trying to be authoritarian, not trying to force ourselves upon or anyone trying to force their views upon other people's, even as we all become one world. I mean, God knows there's one bank out there, and the world has to come together. All of this cheating, all of this lying, all this trying to just win, baby, at any cost. That's what's rolling back. This entire universe swings like a pendulum, and in human history, in human nature, the ball can only swing so far in one direction before it has to come back the other way. I think we finally hit bottom. To have change on a national level, to have change in government, you have to have things get as bad as they can possibly get. You have to bottom out to see that we're not going to make it as little sections of this country. We have to all work together. We have to all be a part of the whole. And nobody can be the center hub, right? That's got to be our collective love for living on this planet and for living with each other. Cody says, Those crazy hippies were changing the TV networks. Cancel all my favorite variety shows. Playing the older movies on the late night. Yes, yes. Yeah, see, late night TV was a complete wasteland, except in the big cities in New York and L.A. You know, they had nighttime programming, but that was the only places that could support it. And boy, how things change. And you know, talk about how dominoes fall. If you're my age, I bet you've read the newspaper all your life, and now the newspapers are just they're, they're dying because they don't have any advertising. And you know what really was the spike that went into them is the fact not only did they lose cigarette advertising and for newspapers, that was huge, but they also lost television advertising. TV used to run ads every day to show what they were going to have on that night. You always checked the newspaper to be able to see what was going to come on, like which episode of that show was going to be on one of those three networks that you were going to be watching, one of those three. And it's really strange today that we have so much, that we do so little with it. But things are coming. Things are changing. The whole school system had to drop into a rabbit hole for it to finally change, and it will, because it has to. And things have to change because they always change. Change is something that is inevitable, and you can't hold it back. So, Cody says, I like you hippies. I try to enjoy. Well, see, when the hippies came in, they first came in to Hollywood, Los Angeles. That's right. The first march by young people was on Hollywood Boulevard, and Jane Fonda's brother, right, was the first person who was put into the paddy wagon and taken down. Celebrities everywhere were put into paddy wagons and hustled into the Hollywood jail. And this was the reaction all over the country for peaceful sit-ins. The hippies were trying to emulate Mahatma Gandhi, passive resistance, and the cops beat them. Right? Sit-ins began as love-ins till they got beat up. Cody says the other controlling folks at that time, nowadays some things don't change. Well, people sure try to control each other, don't they? And we all have to think for ourselves. And we'll do it again next week. I'm Franklin. This is the Cosmic Watch, and we'll be back here 1 week, same time, same channel. Thank you so much for being here, and hope to see you again.